go with the uh, so I would like to introduce Desai sir. Mr. Nilesh Desai sir, he is the founder and CEO of SME Analytics. He is an MSME expert and is the author of the book The Unexplored Goldmine: The Opportunities in the Revival of the Sick MSMEs. He is fond of writing daily newsletters to spread awareness about the MSME world. Mr. Desai has a vast experience of about 41 years in the engineering industry. Mr. Desai has widespread knowledge in MSMEs and is working towards increasing the operational efficiency of the MSME units. He is a member in various committees and represents the interest of MSME. He has traveled extensively and has business associations in Australia. Thank you, Desai sir. And so we will be going forward with the particular presentation. Forward to you, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon. Today's topic is very different than the regular one. It is on passion and goals. See, passion and goals are two things which every entrepreneur has to clearly understand. And I will start with passion. Passion has got various definitions and various interpretations, but I would like to restrict to the application in MSME sector. See, I am trying to restrict. Passion has got a wider this thing, but I will restrict to entrepreneurship and MSME sector. As many of the entrepreneurs, both aspiring as well as existing, I call them as accidental entrepreneurs, which means that youth which does not get job to come into this, or employees working in MSME or large sector, after few years experience, they plunge into entrepreneurship. And that is why I call them as an accidental entrepreneur. Most of them have a desire to supplement their family income, whatever way they can, or look after families' needs like roti, kapda, and makan. Next slide, please. Earlier one is missing in between. See, the researchers gives various definition, which are as follows. Passion is the fuel, thus entrepreneur needs to keep going. See, passion is the fuel, like petrol, not because the petrol price has gone up because of the war, but it is a fuel which makes entrepreneur to run and keep going. It is found that passion is a key predictor of entrepreneurs' creativity, persistence, venture performance also. In other words, the more passionate the entrepreneurs, the more likely they are to succeed. Alternatively, entrepreneurs' passion is a motivational construct characterized by positive emotional arousal, internal drive, and engagement with personally meaningful work that is silent to the self-identity of the entrepreneur. A passion gives a reason to keep learning and work towards mastery. This is very critical. Passion gives a reason to keep learning and move towards mastery. Next slide, please. Generally, there are, not admit them now. Generally, individual differs in paradigms, perception, and passions. As stated by Einstein, every person is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to fly high, it will give its entire life believing that it is an innate. So this is very critical. The importance of passion helps identifying focus. It enables creativity and innovations. Passion for work enhances the desire to pursue excellence. It increases your contribution to work. Passion brings energy at work. Passionate people are more motivated towards work. You feel more satisfied and less stressed. Your working more does not become a workload. It is a great way of improving the work environment. You feel happy to put in extra hours. You are willing to put an extra effort. Passion ignites your achievement graph. You enjoy what you are doing. It helps you to cross your own delineated goals. Passion helps build a positive attitude towards work. So these are all various this thing. One of the point, you feel happy to put in extra hours. Yesterday, when I was in my son's office, there was a discussion. One fellow who was getting about 30,000 rupees salary, after 5 years or 10 years, his salary has gone to 40,000. The reason is he has always come at say 8:30 and left at 4:30. He is not bothered about the work. So his increment is just linked to the inflation. That is the passion which entrepreneur or its team should have. Next slide, please. The research generally 3 types of passion are found among entrepreneurs. They are as follows. Some entrepreneurs are passionate for investing. See, some they like say now angel investors. They focus on identifying new opportunities or creating new products or services. They are typically a scientist or product-oriented entrepreneurs. Now in our startup ecosystem, one more investors are coming up as angel investors. They look to the passion of the startup entrepreneur and work on the ideas, and then they start looking into investing in them. Some entrepreneurs are passionate about founding. They focus on setting up and nurturing the initial venture which energizes them. They offer to exist after a certain point and restart the process with new ventures. These are in our startup world are known as serial entrepreneurs. They nurture one unit, bring it to the maximum valuation possible. They offload their stake and they start again whatever learning they have got in from the first venture. Also, a new thinking which has come up because of passionate team and various technological changes. Some are passionate about developing. They focus on building ventures and they get energy from growing business, attracting new customers, hiring new employees, and building organization. Entrepreneurial passion is essentially for venture success. It is required to convince a team to devote themselves to the venture, investors to back the venture, and customer to pay. Passion can be a factor between success and failure. This is very critical. Passion can be a factor between success and failure. Next slide, please. Generally, it is found that before plugging in the entrepreneurial journey, entrepreneur takes advice, which is generally saying, do something you love or feel you are passionate about. When you go to mentors or you go to your elders, they will say, do something that you love or feel you are passionate about. What they are trying to tell you is find out what you can do best and for which you will devote a lot of time, energy, brain, everything. The advice has got merit. A passion for idea or product can really help drive a person to succeed. But it might not be always easy to find fun or exciting niche that is a practical or business purpose. See, this is very critical. You may be passionate, but it should be commercially viable. So MSME entrepreneur, when he takes advice from his elders or mentors or work on idea, product or services, he has to keep this additional point, a viability of the idea, which is very essential. Next slide, please. A study found that passion can be divided into two types, harmonious and obeisance. In harmonious passion, when we are more engaged, concentrated at greater level, thus we feel happier. Like a painter gets engrossed and he forgets about the time. He is lost in so much that he keeps on going on beautifying the painting. This passion is known as harmonious passion, where you get engrossed. In obeisance passion, it is restricting the growth of MSME entrepreneurs because of obsessiveness. As an example, a boy loves a girl and she is not responding. Then he goes even to that extent that either he will commit a suicide or he will kill that girl. So this is obsessive passion. So in MSME, we cannot have this kind of obsessive passion. So we have to be restricting ourselves to harmonious passion or be milder. That obsession does not override the viability, commercial importance of a venture. Next, please. Next slide. How to find a passion? Now the question comes, how do we find our passion? First thing, there are few points. Find your niche. Working at something fun and interesting is what many people aspire to do. But identifying a special niche and niche interest is a struggle for some people. Be creative to translate your unique skill into business. See, when a child is growing in early this thing, he keeps changing his hobby or his interest or something. Because as a child, when he has taken a birth, his computer software in the brain is empty. As he goes on learning, first year, second year, third year, 10th year, and he starts integrating in schools or various functions and other things, he starts understanding his niche. So a boy who is fifth year or 5 years or 6 years, he may be very much keen on playing cricket, but later on in a 10th year or 12th year, he may lose interest. So that is what is, you have to find out what is your niche, and it keeps changing. And this is, entrepreneur is supposed to be an adult person. So he has to take care, identify this very critically. Then he should be able to set goals and rewards. Without setting a goal, a person is simply floating around aimlessly. The ability to set both short-term and long-term goals is an important skill for success. Achieving targets bring a sense of accomplishment, fuel passion, stirs positive emotions, and encourages the flow of new ideas and energy. Then third point is change your perspective. One critical factor for sustaining passion and enjoying an activity is the right perspective and attitude. Always think what you excel at and not what you lack. Focus on our end goals. So this is very critical for drawing your business plan or things like that. So this in startup ecosystem, this has become that fashion. While India has got 14.5 crore MSME, maybe some entrepreneurs will be in the age group of 80, where a third generation must have taken over. And as the generation has passed, more educated second generation, third generation has come in. So the older entrepreneur will have to change his attitude, and he has to keep, the younger generation has to keep focus on goals, and elder people will have to mentor them. That is the responsibility in our Hindu system. It is passing through one generation to next generation. Enjoy what you do. Every entrepreneur should enjoy what he does. Achieving goals, the excitement of growth and developing new perspective inspires passion. Each goal and milestone reach can offer entrepreneur inspiration and make it easy to feel passionate about each day of work. Many times when you are in a business with a passion, in some of the meetings, or somebody must have observed, your customer must have seen your passion and he spread the word. And that is why it should be, and they will bring new perspective, a new customer, new opportunities, new technologies, all that will come. So, and if you enjoy that, your own team can be a fountainhead of ideas, or new inspirational to make the entrepreneur to be motivated. Next, please. Next slide, please. Direct your talents. What are you good at or have a natural aptitude for? This question again and again entrepreneur will have to ask himself during the course of his enterprise. Pay attention to who makes you annoyed or jealous. This is also again a critical thing. Who makes you annoyed or jealous? Look around your teammates and find out with whom you are comfortable to work with. This is a part of a what you love to do as a child. See, many times as a child, you may have some passion in between growing years, you must have forgotten about, and you can revive that easily. Notice when you lose track of time or what you had to try doing. This is again will help you to find out what you are passionate about. Next slide, please. See, when you identify your passion or your business viability, everything, then you need an execution. And while executing, you need a passionate team. So how do you create a passionate team or building a passionate team? Once the entrepreneur knows his passion for his idea, product or service, he will need a team for execution. The exercise should start with selecting team members. Once you finish your interview for shortlisted candidate, you can discuss your idea or product and ask questions about your idea product and measure his excitement or response to access final candidates. See, this is again, today jobs are scarce. Jobs are not available easily. So in the interview, enter this candidate say yes, everything. And when it comes to understanding the idea of the entrepreneur, he again, because he does not want to lose a job, say yes. So there's a critical gap in this for entry-level candidates more particularly. And then this is where I call entrepreneur, call many people who has come out from corporate sales job or a supervisor in a successful MSME company. He may not have this kind of neck to interview the people and take right talent, what is requirement, which is required for success of his entrepreneur. You should lead the onboarding. You should lead his onboarding experience. Once you build a team, it is necessary to keep them motivated and make them passionate about. Next slide, please. There are various team building exercises. Few I am bringing up. Some fun games like rope climbing, picnic, etc. will bring out that inner talent or inner team building in between the whole team and how they play. Who is not a team player? This requires a deep observation, but one-time observation sometimes maybe not giving you right this thing. So you should be able to judge when these kind of things can be understood. Hackathon, cooking events, volunteering events. Say many times, if some volunteering event has been done by this thing, now particularly suppose a founder's birthday is there and they want to feed poor people, and they naturally will like to have the support of their own team. And here, how they volunteer, how they keep the theme of the event in their mind. All that observation will help you to build a team. These kind of events will give ideas of their leadership qualities, event management capacity, communication skill, their attitude and aptitude. This is a time consuming and conservative in nature, which will help to identify possible metrics to build a team for higher performance. This does not give a guarantee. It's a possible metrics to build a team for higher performance. Next slide, please. Five ways passion will translate to a successful business. See, this is very critical. 5 ways passion will translate to a successful business. Investors will find you more attractive. It does not matter how great your business idea is. If you do not believe in it, investors, I do not know. Created their from where who believe that they have created the next Facebook or Snapchat. This investor always access whether you are just hoping to be lucky by following an idea that was widely successful for someone else, or you have sincerely pursuing an idea that you are truly passionate about. See, because of success of many technological ventures and simple ideas, you will feel copying it, say like Zomato or something, but you'll have to understand long term, and investors will be able to find out whether that passion is temporary or money making, or you want the life and death in that you are putting your life and death in that venture. When you are chasing the success of others, you will give up easily when the results you want are not easily gained. This makes investors wary because they do not want to place their money in the hands of those who will give up when they face a little opposition. This is why investors look for passion as much as they look for well thought out product that is supported by a strong business model and a team also. Why should investors look out of passion when they should really be looking out for the return on their investment? The fact of matter is that it will be hard for you to build a successful business that earn money if you are not emotionally invested in its success. The emotional investment will keep you up at night in order to get you to your strategy right. This emotional investment will help you focus on developing the best product that provides value to your customer. Next slide, please. Continuing that, your passion will overcome your fear of failure. This is very critical. About few weeks back, I have conducted a seminar of FOF versus FOMO, fear of failure versus fear of missing out. In our startup ecosystem, this has become a critical critical criteria, because somebody has succeeded, so you may fail. Fear of failure may not help you. So failure is to be given serious thought, because it is a common this thing that all entrepreneurs want to avoid. In fact, the fear of failure drives many entrepreneurs to succeed. Some fear is healthy. Fear is only a problem if you allow your fear to disturb your ability to create a successful business. You are so worried about failing that you barely move forward because you do not want to make a mistake. But operating with this paralyzing fear in your mind is one of the greatest mistakes you will ever make. This is because you hold your business back by processing a fearful mindset. So an entrepreneur has to take to be more experimental, but each step, when I come to goal, I will explain that how that has to be. So you should not come in the mindset of fear of failure, but that does not mean that you should not develop a mind of this thing, fear of missing out, FOMO. Yes, failure is very real and should be acknowledged, but you must remember that challenges. Next slide, please. If the little things will cause you to second guess your decision, become an entrepreneur, then you will never acquire the success that you seek. You will have to block out of the fear of failure and only focus by producing successful result in order to keep your thoughts positive. If the little things will cause you to second guess your decision to become an entrepreneur, then you will never acquire the success that you seek. You will have to block out the fear of failure and only focus on producing successful results in order to keep your thoughts positive and motivated. When your passion, positive thoughts are second nature to you, the fear of failure will always a threat, will only drive you to work harder to realize your dream. The root of passion is, next slide, please. Then you will have the motivation to pursue. This creating a business in a daunting endeavor. There are no shortcut to success. There are only few people who can sustain such committed level of focus, especially when there is no immediate gratification taking place. This means that you could go literally years without being paid because the money your business generates is being reinvested back into furthering its growth. If anybody has read a book on the founding members of Google, they have worked about 4 years in the university while studying, and they have not even taken a single money when the Cisco chairman through a lot of these things, approach them for having a meeting. And that these two founders and a co-founder, they did not have a name Google, and not having a name because so much that Cisco chairman was so much impressed, he left a $1 lakh check without company's name, whatever name they decide. That is how the Google, that was the passion of that Google co-founders. You must possess the patience for success. While your employed friends are enjoying their paychecks every week or 2 weeks or month, you will have to remember that you are building a business that will have the ability to pay you every day. You will have to forgo your short-term pleasure in favor of pursuing your long-term vision. The results that are produced from doing so may be very well turn out to be tremendous. Such long-term thinking is typical of passionate and successful entrepreneurs. They weather the storms of the life of an entrepreneur in good spirits. They stay up longer, they work harder, and make that additional trip to meet potential investor or customer. Next slide, please. Clients will appreciate your integrity. Integrity is customers will notice when you are trying to sell your product out of desperation or just for the money, rather than the passion for a great solution of their problems. This is again has to be critically followed by entrepreneur. They should not always look for making immediate money, but they should concentrate on solving the customer's problem. That is where he will get more joy. Naturally, he has got a stomach to feed, so he has to balance out. When you are desperate to make a sale, it means that you do not have an active customer base, which will make prospect question why that is the case. Their thoughts will either be that your product is not worth being purchased, or that your customer service drives customers away. If you aren't just out to make a quick buck, at some point your insincerity will show. Either way, these are negative perceptions that will make it hard for you to make a sale. Next slide, please. You are ensuring long-term success. This is once again, entrepreneurs should have that faith in him. When you possess a passion for your business, its success is your main focus. This means that you will work tirelessly to create a product that is demanded by your target customer. You will work to provide the best customer service that keeps your existing customer loyal to your business. Your entire focus is on producing long-term success for your business rather than experiencing short-term results that can never be regained. Think about the business idea that you have in your mind. Are you willing to work day and night for years until your business finally resembles the vision in your mind? Next slide, please. Now I'm coming back to goal. The goal is an idea of a future of or a desired result that a person or group of people envisage, plan, and comfort to achieve. Successful business people in all fields set goals. Gives long-term vision and short-term motivation. It focuses your question of knowledge and helps you to organize your time and resources so you can make the most of your business. Next slide, please. Types of goal. There are 3 types of goal: process, performance, and outcome goals. By making sure the goals you set are aligned with 5 SMART criteria. This was talking about. See, today, whether you have to work hard or you have to work smart. The SMART is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Specific, the goal should have a clear, highly specific endpoint. If your goal is so too vague, it won't be smart. Measurable, you need to able accurately track your progress so you can judge when a goal will be met. Attainable, of course, setting the goal that is too ambitious will see you struggle to achieve it. This will uh, demotivate you both now and in the future. Relevant, the goal you pick should be pertinent to your chosen field or should benefit you directly. And time bound, finally setting a time frame of your goal helps quantify it further and helps you keep focus on the track. So next slide, please. So now, how do we set the goal? The goal setting is a very critical for any business, regardless of how old your business is, where you are located, how profitable it is, or what you seek. Goals help you to stay focused, and they can help prevent your business from becoming stagnant. It sets the stage for ongoing success. Please think goal setting is a round the year process. It is required to set goals multiple times each year, tracking progress and refining the strategies in order to achieve your goals. So this will come later, how this thing will be affecting. Next slide, please. Now, strategic goals are to be achieved over next 3 to 5 years. In earlier slide, we have said that a long-term vision should be there. The following will help for setting better business goals. Balance the budget. So suppose if you are planning for 5 years, whatever projections you are making, balance that in such a way so that you will be knowing the weaknesses or something. Increase market share. Growing percentage of sales from new product. Create a performance-focused culture. The following will help. This is not this thing. Next slide, please. To achieve this, following principles will help. Complete a SWOT analysis. Many of our friends should understand SWOT is strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. And as some resources change, the SWOT analysis again becomes necessary. Suppose if you had a general manager or a marketing manager or purchase clerk or accounts or CFO, or you decide to take part-time CFO service. So SWOT has to be done again and again. Run internal and competitive benchmarking. Do a market analysis. Review your past performance. Solicit input from employees. Determine who will participate in the goal setting activity. Give all participants in some pre-reading homework so that they can come prepared. Don't call for a meeting or goal setting exercise without you are clear what you want, and then give some homework. Suppose if a general manager manufacturing is there, so you should ask, if this is our broader goal as we have set up 5 years back. Now, what are the technological changes you would like to implement in the next year or so? Be sure every goal ties back to your vision and mission. This is again very critical. If everybody who is in the team of making this goal setting exercise should understand vision and mission of the organization, and vision and mission generally do not change every alternate year, or it is a long-term 20, 30, 40, 50 years target. Make your goals descriptive. Be sure of realistic goal. Consider whether goals are measurable. Make an action plan. Give specific responsibility to your employees. There should be reasonably compartmental kind of structure, so that overlap of responsibility should not happen. Identify resources needed for achievement. Create a data system to measure, and also set a system of periodic review and refine the strategy. Say every quarter, or to capture dynamics of economy and development of the company. Next slide, please. To achieve this, we are giving a few business goals for this year. So, as depending on where you are, this is only a descriptive list. Reduce business expenses, higher talent, productivity improvement, new customer service processing, increase traffic on business website or blog, new product development, using social media marketing, improvement of the financial health of the business, use of more technology, marketing audit, SWOT analysis, market share improvement, increasing networking, create your personal brand, ramp up your business plan, use a smart goal setting. All these are the general guidelines. Next slide, please. After business goal setting exercise, meet regular to check in your progress. Then this ensures everyone involved stays on task, no matter how much time goes by. Keep in mind that some adjustment may be required as your team starts to pursue these goals. Don't be afraid to adjust as needed. Communicate your goals internally and possibly externally. Does everyone in your organization understand the goals and why you selected them? The entire company is involved in reaching them. So every department and every individual should understand how their performance impacts the goal, and therefore the overall success of the company. Make sure you have good data for related measures. Once your goals have been set, select measure also known as key performance indicator, KPI, that will help you monitor the performance towards each goal. Ensuring you have data that informs each measure is imperative. Next slide, please. Conclusion: specific and measured goals are the key to success, no matter what you are looking to achieve. Regardless of whether your ultimate aims are financial, personal, or even based solely on metrics, using a structure such as SMART formula can help you succeed in what you set out to do. By making sure the goals you set, your sets are aligned with the 5 SMART criteria, you have an anchor on which to base all of your focuses and decision making. Once you have achieved a SMART goal, you can scale up and start again. Safe in knowledge, there is a solid backbone to your strategy. Next slide, please. Next slide. Only those who have patience to do simple things perfectly ever acquires the skill to do difficult things easily. James J. Corbett, please look into this picture, these slides. See a small boy. Please see, he is targeting. He is so focused. In all difficulty, he is able to perform a practically unimaginable this thing, and you see the joy on his face. Next slide, please. So, my company SMEA Analytics, we have developed a Babaji tool, Babaji Business Analytics, Business Augmentation Growth Information System, where we analyze the balance sheet and profit and loss free of cost, and will give you, if you give 3 to 5 years data in numerical and graphical form, so that you can compare your own performance year by year and changes happen to your performance. There are about 52 ratios will give, and this will help you to compare. And again, the second graph will be given on SME listed companies, so that you know what is happening in the economy, and compare yourself and set new targets. This passion and goal will be particularly useful to all those dynamic entrepreneurs. You also provide mentorship and advisory service to startup and MSME. Ours is a premium based model. We are developing Z score for MSME to manage insolvency risk and also to reduce rate of growth of NPA in banking sector. My personal belief is in 1969 we have nationalized the bank, and from that time we have always been, our definition of MSME was restricted to plant and machinery. And suppose if we take all real estate and other infrastructure, roughly 300 to 400 lakh crore is been invested in the asset. And if we increase the operational efficiency by Babaji, and second one by measuring hard skill and soft skill, changes happening in workers every quarter, so that you can build a better teamwork inside your workers, and you will have a lot of data, better data control, which will give you long-term operational advantage. Next slide, please. We also provide digital transformation support, CFO service, fundraising, and IPO services. Next slide, please. I request everybody to subscribe to our YouTube channel and have access to our earlier webinars, which will help you in your growth. Next slide. Next slide, please.
Sir, the presentation is over.
Okay.
And we will go for the question answer session right now.
We'll have a rapid fire because time will be coming up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, is passion and goal interrelated?
Yes, passion and goal are interrelated, definitely interrelated. And passion gives you, particularly for MSME entrepreneurs, it is very critical, because goals for passion and goals many times clash, but it is interrelated. I hope I answered. Next, yes, please.
Next is why we mention the term goal oriented and not passion oriented.
Come again.
We mention that there is a term called goal oriented. When we say somebody, you are goal oriented, but we don't mention, we do not say passion oriented. Why so?
See, goals are derived out of passion of a particular entrepreneur or entrepreneur's team. And then entrepreneur, I'm talking particularly reference to MSME. So I'm not talking about general thing. See, that is why passion will give an idea to the entrepreneur to his idea or his product or his services to succeed. What he is needed to do, and he himself starts setting the goals. It can be financial, it can be tangible, it can be intangible, and then he starts forming the team, which is aligned with this goal. Next, please.
Which one entrepreneurs should follow more, their passion or goal?
See, goals are derived out of the passion. Once it is clearly defined, it will help the entrepreneur that he should follow his passion with the goals in continuous for execution purpose. Hanmantu Saab is asking some question.
Sir,
Yeah.
good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, you spoke about budgeting and planning.
Yes.
Sometimes the planning may have to be changed because of changed situations. That budgeting may
Yes.
also has to be changed.
Yes.
And I think we have to prepare a plan A, plan B, plan 2, B, C also. So to
Yes.
overcome any deviations,
Yes.
that
But
will help.
so-
That will help them to reach the target better.
Yes, sir, you are right. But MSME in a bottom of pyramid kind of structures are not so complex which they are affected. See, many people are asking questions. This Ukraine crisis will affect MSME. Probably it may not affect immediately. Definitely, general economy will change. So budget, yes, budget, and everywhere. That is why I said that SWOT analysis has to be done. But by grace of our nature, MSME entrepreneurs does not have that complicated impact, and they have to generally drive through. But goals and budget and this has to be keep changing every regular time. So that is why we have said smart goals. Smart goals. Next, please.
Can the entrepreneurs change their goals if required?
Yes, entrepreneur has to change continuously the goals, and that is why periodical review, because see, no plan is perfect. You will have to, and in a dynamic situation and changing the behavior of market, if he does not factor, he is heading for a problem. So they have to regularly check it, and they have to take the opinion of internal employees as well as sometimes external consultants. Our Indian MSME system is never accepted consultant in a big way. Consultants are your friends. You don't be afraid. Consultants will give you a perspective, more mature perspective to your goal setting exercise. They will help you to ask soul searching question. That our MSME system has to get matured about that. I hope I answered the question. Next,
Yes, sir.
please.
Many a times we start with our passion to do something and eventually goals are set. But due to circumstances, the passion is lost and eventually goal is lost. This happens with MSME too.
Yes, it happens with everybody. It happens with this because see, either you are not put smart goals, or you have become too ambitious against the available resources. Goal setting and passion is a long-term process, and long-term goals has to be broken down to small term, and every day, every hour, it has to be broken down to that fineness. And any changes which is happening, suppose you have targeted today to finish some job and you are not able to do because of some emergency or some crisis, you should make a point to recover that time or delegate. That is the next week I am going to talk about delegation. So that is the next week's topic. So can we go to next?
Yes, sir. So is hope connected with passion and goal?
What is that?
Is hope connected with passion and goal?
Hope has nothing to do with passion. Passion is, you have to find out, and then you have to get you have to get your goal set on that. And leaving something to hope is a weakness which you are trying to develop, and that may failure in that will demotivate you. So that is why we are saying SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Or other way, in our 5W and 1H. See, if you ask any this thing, 5 Ws, that is when, what, why, all that question, and how, that will give you a very innovative solution. So hope, yes, they may leave something to God, yes, but that God helps those people only who are helping themselves. Next, please.
So many MSMEs die. Is it because of external influence or their passion or goal is lost?
They have not done. See, in my presentation also 3 or 4 times I said that viability, business idea viability assessment has to be done, and it is better to take help of some external consultant. It can be your peers, it can be chartered accountant, it can be experienced entrepreneurs or your own elders. Take that, recorrect your this thing, make sure the available resources you do not cut, required resources you do not cut corners. कल देख लेंगे, परसों हो जाएगा, ये तो हो जाएगा, ये तो मेरा दोस्त है. All that type of assumptions, try to reduce so that you don't head for a failure. And definitely this is more required for when you start a business. Take advice of as many people as possible, but see that they are having no personal, you can say that, personal bias against you. Otherwise, all what you bring, either they will encourage or they will discourage. Next, please.
So many people leave before they reach goal. What is your suggestion for them?
I think in the beginning, we have in the presentation of Ghana, we said, and in Silicon Valley, failed entrepreneur gets venture fund faster because venture capitalists feel that at least he knows that these are the ways where he has made a mistake and he may not repeat. So please try to analyze your reasons for not achieving, remove that and keep trying. There will be always this thing. See, in my 39-40 years of entrepreneurship, I also failed, and 8 years it took me to restart. Again, while restarting, 3 years was just, I could not do anything except meeting my house expenses, and still I was running short of resources. So, but there was a passion for me and I continued. That is why I have written my book, Unexplored Gold Mine, Opportunities in Revival of Sick Unit. Pinaki, how much time we have got? We can take one.
Cross 5 o'clock.
So we can take 1 or 2 questions, or shall
Yes,
we close it?
one more question, sir.
Yeah.
How to identify a startup that has goals and passionate team to invest?
See, we have said that while you see that this, if you are a young man coming out from engineering college or something, you may not have that expertise of still interviewing the people. You should take help of some mentor who can help you to select a team. But while you take a mentor, you explain your passion, goals clearly to him. He will help you definitely. And see, any investor in particularly startup area, they look to the team before even the idea is understood, but more particularly angel investors. That is this thing. So you take mentorship, there are incubation centers, and there are accelerators, there are mentors who are ready to give many times free help. identify them, and take help. Shall we end, Pinaki?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can end, sir.
So next webinar on what? Please announce that.
Our next webinar is on delegation.
When?
It's on
12th, I think.
yes, sir. My
We are
laptop's
not
stuck.
Huh?
Yes, sir. 12th, 12th.
12th March, we'll have another session on delegation. See, as an entrepreneur, when you start understanding passion and goals, now next, when you select your team, what you have to delegate, how you should delegate, and all that will be discussed in the next webinar on 12th March. Till that, bye-bye.